months, one miscarriage after first starting to try for baby number 2. Pregnant, finally. Oh my God, I was starting to feel like it was never going to happen. I was 1 month away from getting my husband's sperm tested, from looking into IUIs, from like going down that road that I would have been happy to go down if I needed to. Oh, but it turns out all I needed to conceive was being at 10,000 feet and having my body under extreme stress. I've been doing all this stuff like ovulation tests and having sex a lot. Like my husband loves trying to get pregnant. And nothing worked. I mean, month after month after month, nothing. And then I got pregnant, and then like 2 weeks later I miscarried. It just, and especially, oh God, when you're seeing like pregnancy announcement after pregnancy announcement on social media, you begin to convince yourself that maybe I'm like the only one. And obviously I know that that's not true, but I just start to feel like it wasn't going to happen without like tens of thousands of dollars. I started to consider like trying to wrap my mind around adoption, which would have been a beautiful choice. But so in January, we decided to get like this condo in this cute little ski town in Utah. And I'm like, all right, in February, I'm just going to totally devote my time to getting that ready. I'm not going to focus on getting pregnant. I just need a month of rest. I need a month where I don't have a total breakdown, where I get my period. And so I was up in Utah for the month. My husband came up for Valentine's weekend. That was the only time I saw him the whole month. We had sex once. Valentine's Day, appropriately enough. And then 2 weeks later, I take my like regular pregnancy test, like, all right, expecting just to see 1 line. And holy shit, there were 2 lines. My poor little brother, who's in his mid-20s, I like waved the pee stick in front of his poor horrified face. But I was pregnant. And I was excited for about like 15 minutes. And then I was like, wait, when's the other shoe gonna drop? When am I gonna start bleeding? And I had the thought like, well, this was just too easy, which is crazy because I'd gone through so much and was finally pregnant, but I just felt like I didn't do the ovulation test strips. I only had sex once. Like it's just not actually going to happen. So I kind of like would vacillate between like, oh my God, I'm pregnant, and like, don't get too excited. You're just going to get your hopes up. And so, yeah, one day at a time. And I had some bleeding, which each time I had some bleeding, I convinced myself that, that I was miscarrying. And something important for women to know, and this is probably TMI, but if you strain really hard during a bowel movement, it can cause a little bit of vaginal bleeding. So yes, bleeding as you poop, that's normal, but also from the vagina, a little bit of bleeding can happen. And that happened to me a couple times. Constipation is one of the greatest joys of my life. And yeah, so that happened a couple times, and then also just some spotting for no reason. So at 6 weeks, I was determined to get the ultrasound. I just needed to know if there was a heartbeat, because with my miscarriage this summer, it was a miscarriage, and so I had 5 ultrasounds, and there was never a heartbeat. I never had much bleeding or anything like that. I had to take medication to miscarry, or to have the fetus release and come out of the uterus. And yeah, so at 6 weeks, 4 days, I saw a heartbeat. And I don't think I've ever felt so much relief in my life. And that lasted for about 2 days. And then I started to think, okay, well, what if the next ultrasound, there isn't a heartbeat? And then I started to think about the NIPT test, the test for Downs and trisomy 13 and different chromosomal issues, and started to freak out about that. But like each milestone I've had, so like the positive pregnancy test and then the heartbeat, each of those steps made it feel a little bit more real and a little bit more like I was allowed to be happy. And then my body made it really hard for me to be nervous about anything in the future because I became horribly nauseous, like constantly for about like 6 weeks, all day long. Even in the middle of the night, I'd wake up nauseous. I never threw up, but like pretty much all I could eat was sourdough toast, ramen noodles, and like other beige stuff. I gained 10 pounds in about 6 weeks and felt like total crap. And yeah, was very distracted by that. It was just miserable. And then that passed right around the time I got the NIPT test. Thankfully, it was all good, all negative. I found out the sex. I want to do a different video for that. And yeah, now I'm about 13 weeks. So just out of the first trimester. Still feeling, you know, different nerves and whatnot, but definitely have the belly. I'm feeling a little bit of the quickening. Started to see my midwife. And yeah, so sorry, this is a really long video to just simply say, I'm pregnant, finally, yay! And on this channel, I'm gonna be doing, probably starting around like now, on the second trimester, about a video a week specifically for like that week of pregnancy, you know, about what I'm experiencing, but also for other women during that week of pregnancy, what they can experience. I might actually kind of rewind back to around like 10 weeks when you can do the NIPT test and all that kind of stuff, because really that's when a lot of, you know, different exciting things start to happen in regards to being able to see the baby and whatnot. And then I'll be doing my traditional videos that I've always been doing on here, but that'll be an added thing. So you can hear a little bit about my journey, but also just get, again, general information about what's going on in your body and in your mind during each week of pregnancy. So for all the women watching this that are also pregnant, I'm so grateful to finally be part of your club. And for the women watching this that are trying to conceive, I was with you for a long time, and I want you to hold out hope that it can happen, because I was starting to think it couldn't for me, and it finally did. So hold on to that hope. Your baby will come to you when they're ready. All right. Love you guys.